Before getting to our next new letter, just for fun, do you recall the name of this drink?
Пиво.
And the word for a book?
Книга.
How about the word for clothing?
Одежда.
If that was hard to recall those, don't sweat it, because recalling words hasn't really been our focus. This is a reading course. But if you'd like to start speaking conversational Russian, you should check out my Russian Made Easy podcast. It uses all these techniques: contextual learning, well-timed repetition to cement the words in your long-term memory, pattern recognition to master the grammar. It's called Russian Made Easy, and it's free on iTunes, or you can get the episodes on the site itself. Anyway, let's get back to it. Here is our next new letter. This contextual phrase is tough, but hopefully you can get the pronunciation anyway. Give it a try. Did you get it? This letter is pronounced
Ё.
One cool thing about it is that it always gets the stress. Always. One frustrating thing, Russians often leave those two dots off. And when they leave the dots off, it looks exactly like this letter.
Е.
Isn't that nice? Anyway, let's look at some signs. None of these are cognates, so just try to get the pronunciation.
Мед.
Is honey. And see, these guys keep the dots, but these guys don't.
Мед.
Can you read this sign? It's a cool name, no pun intended, for a fur store.
Лед.
Is ice.
Лед.
Next,
Ёж.
is a hedgehog. But Russians often add an eek sound at the end to make things seem smaller and cuter. So this book is called
Ёжик.
The Little Hedgehog in the Fog. And this word?
Всё.
It translates as all or everything.
Всё.
So, for example, this store is called Everything Right Up to the Light Bulbs. And these guys keep the dots. But these guys, it's the same exact store. I guess they can't spare the paint for two little dots. And this store says, everything for the home. And they got the dots. But these guys, nope. Can't be bothered. The word
Всё.
is what they'll ask you after you've ordered something.
Всё.
So she's asking, is that all? As in, do you need anything else? All right, next letter. Take your time with this one. So this letter is a TS sound. Tss, like what's up. So what's this an ad for?
Концерт.
In English, we emphasize the first syllable. Concert. But in Russian, it's
Концерт.
And in this store, what can you get? It's a
Копи-центр.
copy center. So Russian often uses that letter where English prefers a C. So not center, but
Центр.
a TS sound. Or here, how would you sound this one out?
Цирк.
We say circus with an S sound, but Russian interprets it as a TS sound.
Цирк.
Can you guess what this is?
Мотоцикл.
Again, where we use the letter C, an S sound, Russian uses this.
Мотоцикл.
Of course, if they're referring to more than one bike, it's
Мотоциклы.
Now those were all cognates, so let's try a purely Russian word. Can you read this? Stress goes here on the first letter.
Улица.
And the whole thing?
Улица Ленина.
Literally, the street of Lenin. I'll do a quick grammar sidetrack here. So, Lenin, here's his tomb in Moscow. And you see, his last name ends with just an N.
Ленин.
But if you add an A to the end of his name, the meaning becomes of Lenin. So we have the street of Lenin.
Улица Ленина.
Another example. What was the word for honey? Do you recall?
Мед.
Think of mead, which is a drink made from honey. Mead.
Мед.
So then, how would you translate the name of this business?
Дом меда.
The house of honey. You see, again, the basic form of the word is just мед. But to say of honey, Russian adds an ah sound at the end.
Дом меда.
Okay, end of my grammar sidetrack. Let's try a new letter. So this is a Z sound.
З.
Ever see this movie?
Зорро.
I wonder what goes on in this building.
Музыка.
Music. And in this club, what are they playing?
Джаз.
Did you hear that devoicing? The Z comes at the end of the word, and so it dwindles or reduces to an S sound.
Джаз.
Let's do some locations that have this Z in the name. Can you guess this place?
Зоопарк.
A zoo.
Музей.
Is a museum. The Russian version sounds almost French to me.
Музей. Бизнес-центр.
That's a place where you'll find copy machines or a fax, things like that. It's a business center. Again, those were all cognates, but here's a place that you need to know, and the name is purely Russian. How would you pronounce it?
Вокзал.
It's a station, more like the central station, really. And this?
Автовокзал.
Is the central bus station. All right, take a little break. Maybe try writing some of these new letters down and play with them a bit, and I'll see you in the next lesson.